Ever wish you could, like, I don't know, peek behind the curtain of those crazy successful startups? The ones that just seem to explode overnight?
Yeah.
Today's deep dive, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, cracking the code, right?
Cracking the code. You guys have sent us some seriously interesting stuff on this program, Avra.
Oh, yeah. I think.
It's like super exclusive,
Yeah.
basically a secret society for founders who are already killing it.
Think of it less like an incubator, more like a masterclass
Okay.
in scaling up,
Huh.
taught by people who've actually like built billion-dollar businesses.
Okay, you've got my attention for sure. We're digging into this article from the Generalist, gives this super rare glimpse inside Avra.
Yeah, super interesting.
And what I find so fascinating, right, is the woman behind it all, Anu Hariharan.
Yeah, what a story.
I mean, talk about a career trajectory. Qualcomm engineer
Yeah, starts out as an engineer.
to, like, venture capitalist extraordinaire.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's not just another VC story, right?
Yeah.
What is so different about how Anu is approaching this?
Yeah, it's not about just writing checks. You know.
Right.
Anu had this aha moment
Okay.
during her time leading YC Continuity, so that's Y Combinator's growth fund, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she saw how traditional venture capital, they kind of missed the mark
Really?
when it comes to giving founders practical guidance,
Interesting.
especially during like super fast growth.
So it's like everyone's so focused on the investment itself, they
Yeah.
kind of forget about the humans
With humans.
who actually have to execute.
Yeah, exactly, precisely. That's where Avra comes in.
Okay.
It's flipping that whole VC model on its head,
How so?
adding value up front,
Okay.
proving their worth before any talk of investment.
Now that's a power move. I like it. But how does it actually work in practice?
So imagine this, right?
Yeah.
Only 10 to 12 companies, growth stage companies,
Wow. So few.
chosen every 6 months.
That's it.
That's it
Wow.
to form this cohort.
Right.
And the sessions themselves,
Yeah.
intensely practical,
Okay.
tackling the real world problems.
What kind of problems?
Well, these founders are facing these huge problems, right?
Right. Of course. Yeah.
With guidance from people who've been there, done that.
Okay. I mean, that's cool and all, but like, what does that actually mean?
Right.
Give me an example. What kind of practical stuff are they actually diving into?
All right. So the article mentioned this thing, a mini S1 exercise.
A mini what?
Mini S1. And so like an S1, that's the document a company files before going public.
Right. Right.
It's basically their life story. But for Wall Street,
Okay. Yeah.
Avra has their founders create this mini S1 super early on.
Hold up. Hold up.
Yeah.
So you're saying forcing founders to think about an IPO
Yeah,
when they're still in like hypergrowth mode.
exactly.
That sounds intense.
Intense, right.
Yeah.
But it forces them to get crystal clear on their business model,
Makes sense.
their unit economics.
Uh-huh.
Everything investors are going to be all over later down the line.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's the genius part,
Okay. Okay. I'm listening.
This exercise, it becomes a goldmine for Avra.
How so?
They get to see how these founders think under pressure,
Oh, that's interesting.
how they approach problems,
Yeah.
problem solving,
Right.
their grasp of the financials.
Yeah.
It's like an x-ray into their leadership style.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's like a crash course in like how to think like a public company CEO,
Right.
even if like an IPO is years away.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool. So it's not just about the advice, it's about really understanding the mindset.
The mindset, yeah.
But I'm guessing these Avra sessions, they cover way more than just financials, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah. They go really deep on executive hiring,
Okay, yeah.
which is something, every founder at some point
Oh, yeah.
grapples with, right?
Big time.
And this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Avra teaches them to always be looking for, like, 10 out of 10 players,
10 out of 10.
even for roles that don't exist yet.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying even if you're like a scrappy team of 5,
Yeah.
you should be thinking about like your dream leadership team
Yeah.
2 years down the line.
Exactly. It's about building relationships with that rock star talent
Sure.
before you desperately need them.
Yeah.
Avra calls it, like, building your bench.
Building your bench. I like it.
And they're super big on rigorous reference checks,
Okay.
like going way beyond the usual suspects.
I'm guessing they've got some war stories
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
about bad hires. I mean, we've all been there, right?
Oh, yeah. But think about it. Those lessons probably worth their weight in gold,
Yeah.
especially for founders who are used to, moving fast, breaking things.
So true. Speaking of moving fast,
Yeah.
the article mentioned Avra as like obsessed with helping companies maintain speed
Yeah.
as they scale.
Right.
And that's something, honestly, I've always struggled with,
Yeah.
balancing that growth with maintaining like quality.
Well, Avra has a kind of counterintuitive approach to that.
Okay.
They argue that founders, they should never have to choose between speed and quality.
Really?
Yeah. They actually believe you can have both.
Come.
And that saying yes to both of those things
Yeah.
is essential for sustainable growth.
Hold on. So saying yes to speed and quality?
Yes.
Isn't that like the ultimate startup dilemma?
It's a classic, right? It comes down to being crystal clear on your input metrics.
Okay.
So the levers that directly impact your desired outcome,
Okay.
right? By relentlessly focusing on those inputs
Okay.
and ensuring that they're aligned with both speed and quality, you avoid getting caught in the trap of constantly putting out fires.
Right, like this random fire. So it's about building the right systems from day one.
From day one.
Not just like duct taping as you go.
Exactly.
I like it. It's very measure twice, cut once kind of philosophy.
Totally. And that ties into another key takeaway from Avra. They really stress consistently repeating your core message.
Interesting.
Both internally
and
externally.
To your team, to investors, to everybody.
To everybody.
Okay.
And this helps avoid miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure everyone's rowing in the same direction.
It's so key.
Right. Even as you add more people to the boat.
That's huge. I remember when my last company, we started to scale.
Yeah.
And it felt like every new hire, I swear, brought a slightly different understanding.
It's like they'd each read a different version of the pitch deck or something.
It was, yeah. It was wild.
Right.
So aligning everyone on that core message is so key.
Absolutely. And Avra takes it a step further.
Okay.
They encourage founders to create what they call a frequently asked questions document.
Interesting.
That addresses all the common misconceptions about their business.
Okay, so it's like you're preempting the skepticism or the confusion before it even comes up.
Get ahead of it.
Talk about getting ahead of the game.
Exactly. It's about controlling the narrative.
Yeah.
Shaping how people see your company before someone else does it for you.
This Avra crew, they've thought of everything.
They've got it figured out, it seems like.
It's not just about the content of these sessions, right?
Right.
The article made it sound like the community aspect is like a huge part of the Avra experience.
Well, absolutely.
You mentioned an Avra retreat earlier. It sounds like they're kind of going for that summer camp vibe.
Yeah, totally.
Even for these high-powered CEOs.
Right, even for the big dogs.
Yeah.
The article talked about this retreat in Santa Rosa.
Okay.
Really focused on building trust and camaraderie among the founders.
I like it. So it's like they understand that when you're tackling, these massive challenges.
Right.
It's not just about the tactical advice. It's about having a support system.
Having your people.
Your people, exactly.
Right there with you.
Who get what you're going through.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that old saying,
What's that?
Entrepreneurship is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
You need those people.
Yeah. You need those people in the trenches with you.
In the trenches with you.
100%.
And that's, I think, where Avra's approach is so cool.
It's different.
It's different, yeah. They're not just placing bets on companies.
Yeah, they're all in.
They're investing in the founders.
On the founders.
Yeah, in their long-term success.
Long game.
Which, let's be real, that's a pretty savvy business move in itself.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if these founders, they're blown away by the value that Avra is bringing, they're going to want to work with them when it's time to raise their next round.
Right, exactly. Funding. Right.
Makes sense, yeah.
Makes sense. Because remember, most VCs, right?
Yeah.
They invest first and then hope to figure it out later.
To add value later.
Cross their fingers, maybe.
Yeah. Avra's like, nope, we're flipping the script.
Flipping the script, yeah.
We believe in you so much.
Right.
We're going to show you our value before asking for anything in return.
It's a bold move.
Talk about confidence. But it's not just the retreats and the sessions.
Right.
Did you mention something about a private wiki too?
Yeah. It's like YC's book face.
I do, yeah.
But specifically for scaling companies.
Okay.
For those who don't know, Bookface, it's this internal resource for Y Combinator companies.
Okay.
Just packed with advice, best practices.
Okay.
And it sounds like Avra's building something similar.
Yeah. Okay.
But tailored to those unique challenges of Hypergrowth company.
So imagine having this treasure trove of knowledge at your fingertips.
Right there, yeah.
Tactical guides on everything.
Oh, yeah.
From, building your exec team to nailing your board meeting. Curated from, like, the experience of founders who've been there, done that.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It's like a cheat sheet, right?
Yeah.
For building $1 billion company.
Right.
But, even if you're not quite at that stage yet.
Right.
There are still some big takeaways here.
Yeah.
To founders at any level.
For sure, yeah. So for those listening who, aren't running billion-dollar companies yet, myself included.
Right.
What's, like, the key takeaway? What can we learn from Avra's playbook?
For me, boils down to two things.
Okay.
First, never underestimate the power of mentorship and community.
Yeah, so important.
Find your people, build those relationships with founders who've, walked the path that you're on.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Totally.
The second thing, embrace the idea of, like, front-loading value.
Front-loading value, I like it.
How can you demonstrate your worth?
Right.
Build that trust.
Yeah.
Prove your expertise. Right. Before asking for anything in return.
It's funny, it seems so obvious, but so few people do it.
So few people do it, but that's what Avra's doing.
And it's clearly working for them.
It's working.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if this is the future of venture capital.
Right.
A world where investors, less about just the money.
Right.
More about being true partners.
Yeah.
Rolling up their sleeves. Right. And actually helping founders build.
Helping them build something great.
Something huge.
Something huge.
Yeah. Something to think about.
I like it. And that's a wrap on another deep dive. You guys keep sending us those fascinating articles. We'll keep digging in, and together we'll crack the code on what it takes to build something truly great. Until next time, stay curious.